So I just had an experience that really scared the living daylight out of me. And that has to do with this rig. Let's talk cinema. You will have to excuse all the clutter around me because I was initially going to do a video about unboxing all the Zacuto parts that you see in front of me now. But I realized that one of these screws here had come loose. And that really scared me because this is something that I had fastened so tight that it couldn't come loose. But this over time has come loose by itself. Yeah, that's why I'm changing it. Look at this. Wow. Okay, so we're back to the bare bone build of my rig. Okay, so let me explain to you what the problem is so you may not do the same mistake that I did. Okay, so I'm not going to bash Smallrig, but I am going to talk about it. These are parts more or less built up by Smallrig, this little base plate here. When both of these two screws are coming loose, this means the whole foundation where this whole cinema camera rig is resting upon this. When everything here comes loose, imagine what would have happened if all of a sudden everything just started falling apart and coming loose, and it would have hit and smashed the ground and just wrecking my lens, my camera, everything completely. Now, luckily, I discovered this before it was too late, but I have experienced this in the past. And it was just the same thing. This base plate here was coming loose, screws were falling off, and I was shooting in a hospital with a pocket cinema camera by a Blackmagic design. Now the camera doesn't really matter in this instance. The thing is, my whole rig, it weighed around 5 kilos. It just came apart on my shoot because I was relying on this base plate and parts from Smallrig. I was supervising the whole thing, and we weren't bashing the equipment at all. But all of a sudden, things just started falling apart on us. So I have basically had it with this one. So if you'll take a look at this cage from Zacuto, now this is made in the US and it's really nicely engineered and manufactured. I've been a huge fan of Zacuto for years. And here we have a built-in Arca Swiss plate, and you see there's nothing here. It can't come loose. These screws are still as tight as the day I fastened this one, and I did at the same time as the Smallrig base plate, and it's not holding up. So I have decided to switch over to this ACT base plate from Zacuto. Now the genius thing about this product is that here we can fit an Arca Swiss plate, and we can see that this is something that Zacuto supplies. This also makes it compatible with the Arca Swiss that's built in to the cage, so we can just slide this in. And look at this, there are no screws. I can leave it like this, but I am not going to do that because on the back there's a little screw. You can see here we can tighten this down, and now this base plate, this isn't going anywhere. This is really nicely secured, and we can just release it like this, and we can slide our whole rig for balance, tighten it back up. It doesn't come in the way for the battery. And look at this. Now I have a much more stable platform, and I am obviously going to just take off all the parts from this. Now this is still made by a Smallrig, but it is manufactured in a different way. I don't know why. So this lens holder here, this is made by Vocus. I've had it for many years. I'm just going to take off this mat box, and we are going to slide to see if it fits here. Yeah, it still fits. It's a 15mm. And we're going to slide it around here, tighten it down, and I'm going to reposition this one once again, like so. And you can see now my rig is really starting to come back into place, more or less the same as we had before. We have just replaced the unusable base plate that my whole rig was based upon, and it really scared me, because this would have cost me thousands of dollars if this thing had broken and fallen apart on the ground. I'm not even sure if my insurance would have covered those damages, when it's basically you or the fault of your manufacturer. So whenever you decide to build a rig, and that's why I'm doing this video, this follow-up video on my rig, is make sure you buy premium products, the best products you can buy. And if they're a bit more expensive, there's usually a reason why stuff is more expensive than other stuff. I mean, Zacuto products, they're not the cheapest on the market, but I haven't had one product from Zacuto like ever falling apart. And I have owned Zacuto products for, I don't know, I think I've owned it for 15-16 years. I've been doing this professionally now for 20 years, and Zacuto was one of the brands I turned to in the beginning for quality products. And as we all know, I'm not meaning to bash products from China, but they do have a different way of manufacturing stuff. I see it on the farm as well, that products from China, they are flooding the whole European market, and their engineering precision isn't quite as good as it is from products made in either Europe or in the States. That's just a fact. And now look where I'm going with this rig. I'm starting to get a nice lid rig. I mean, I obviously do have some adjustments still, but now the whole thing is weighing securely on my Zacuto. Oh, look at that. It's already balancing out real nicely. So I just wanted to give you a warning. If you do use parts from Chinese manufacturers from Smallrig, make sure that you at least tighten these once in a while. I didn't. Perhaps that fault wasn't me, but it shouldn't really be necessary. Once the thing is tightened down, it should be there ready and good to go the next time as well. Here with Zacuto, you don't have to worry about that, because here it's just everything just works. There are no screws that can't possibly come loose on this rig at all. I mean, the Arca Swiss base plate is built into the cage. That is not coming anywhere, and that attaches directly to this base plate, as we've already seen and demonstrated. And you know, this rig is as solid as it gets. I can put it on my shoulder like this. I'm maybe going to switch this one out with a follow focus and get my monitor out here, so I have a nice little handheld and shoulder held rig when I'm doing my professional shoots. And I'm really looking forward to bringing this one into the field and leave this piece of engineering in the cold. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.